Congratulations on your nominations and for Popolo. If you could just introduce yourself to the camera and then just explain your connection to the film, please.
My name is Quantae Love, and I am one of the writers and lead actor.
And my name is Edo Natasha. I am the director and one of the writers too for Popolo.
Thank you. Well, it's always the same first question and pretty straightforward. Where did the idea come from? You know, there's always a start to these things, and how did it all happen?
Well, I mean, it's we started writing on 2012, and the birth idea was I was a assistant director for a play,
Yeah.
and he was happened to be the lead actors at that time. I told him my story about my dream of becoming a American filmmakers.
Yes.
I am not American. I was from Indonesia, and I just got deployed from Afghanistan. I joined the U.S. military.
Right.
Got deployed in Afghanistan, and I told him about my dream and the reason why I joined the military. So I became a filmmaker. And
So you joined the military to become a
Yes,
film?
he joined the United States military to become a filmmaker.
When you right, hang on. So I'm presuming you're talking about a documentary filmmaker or a.
No.
Tell me what. Really?
Filmmaker.
Is this a program that you can do through the US?
No, he went to school in the U.S. and he had to find a way to be a citizen.
Right, I'm with you.
So he can be a filmmaker.
Right, okay.
So then the military gives him an opportunity. He joins the military. He goes to Afghanistan, and when he comes from Afghanistan, he goes to Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii. We meet each other. He tells me his story, and I'm like, okay, I'm from LA, and I'm a filmmaker. So I said, okay, I'll help you, but we have to have a kick-ass film to get you into Hollywood with no experience, no film school, nothing, just a dream. So it all started with this guy's dream to be an American filmmaker. That's how it all started.
I mean, how extreme is that? So you've joined the military, potentially put yourself on the front line for a country that's not your home country.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's not his home country to be a filmmaker. And then he runs into a filmmaker and tells a filmmaker his story, and he didn't even know I was a filmmaker.
I'm just going to throw all these questions away because I've not come across this before. This is amazing. So, okay, so you're now in Hawaii. You've now hooked up with
a
filmmaker. Did you? Okay, and you've said brilliant, but we need a kick-ass story. So where did it go from there? Did you have this kick-ass story in hand, or you hadn't even?
No, we sat down and we talked about it, and he was still in the military when we started writing. So we said, let's write something that we both are aware of.
Yeah. And
Military in Hawaii.
Yeah, and he also a veteran.
Right, okay.
So we have that similarity. So we start from there. We start from a story about soldiers who are coming back from Afghanistan.
Right.
And we also want to include certain aspect and elements about Hawaii and Hawaii people, because from the beginning we already thinking the idea to use Hawaii locals and Hawaii talent.
Right.
So we do some research, and then we find out an interesting history pretty much about Hawaii, and that is a popolo. Popolo means popolo was a blackberry plant on the island back during the medieval age.
It's a medicine plant.
And it's a medicine plant.
But it's not even about the film. It's about helping this guy get to America as a filmmaker. Just get into into Hollywood. That's the whole thing. And then we said, what kind of film can we come up with that will get you into Hollywood? Action film.
Action films.
It has to be action because an action film is very hard to do, but it's very exciting, and it will be his very first film ever. So we set out to we wrote an action story.
Yeah.
And we used our experiences on the island because I had just moved to the island. I had been in the island like 3 months. So I was new there when I met him.
So can I just ask, the whole story is amazing. Perhaps you should write a story about the story of this. But so by joining the US military, does that then entitle you to become a US citizen? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And they sent him straight to Afghanistan.
Okay.
Straight to Afghanistan. And if he made it out,
welcome and goodbye, was it?
there you go. Welcome and goodbye. Basically, just like that.
Oh my God, that's just unbelievable. So you know why now you're getting towards the sort of the nub of this. You need to write an action story. You've told him he's got to do what? Okay, what's next? What's happening next?
Then we write the story.
Yeah.
And then we decided, I had a vendetta against Hollywood because I wanted to go to Hawaii and write a story with a whole bunch of no-name people to prove that we can do a film outside of Hollywood that can compete with Hollywood. That's why I went to Hawaii. And when I ran into him, it was like perfect. A whole bunch of no-name people. So we got all new people on the island. No one's ever done a film before. No one's ever directed or produced. Our whole crew was a bunch of young people from the theater.
I mean, you've got the experience, though.
I got the experience.
Yeah, you're experienced.
So we put together a team of all these people from the theaters. And then I taught them how to do a film. And then we shot the film.
Okay, now how on earth did you raise the finances? So you've never made a film before. Okay, you're there, brilliant, obviously, to help. You've got the experience. You're trying to gel together this completely unknown crew. And to be frank, an unknown director.
It is.
How on earth did you pitch this to get the money required? How did you do that? Or did you back it yourself? How did that work?
Well, it's a combination of both. I mean, I
His
backed
savings
myself
and
with
then
my savings when I was deployed and all that, journey, military journey, and then a couple of private investors that Quantae approached in his contact. So it's a combination of both.
Although I've got a load of questions, which I'll get onto, a number of them. The first thing I want to ask is, or the next thing I want to ask is, when all is said and done, was it worth it? Looking back.
From whose point of view?
Well, both, really. Both. I mean, you've been involved in business, so you know, presumably, ins and outs, and you don't. But how different was the reality when you've signed the film off and it's now being made available? Looking back, was the journey worth it?
Completely.
Yes.
It was. Okay.
It was part of just the vision. This guy joins the military. He puts his life on the line.
Who would? I mean, that's unreal.
Who would do it? So how can we lose?
No.
We can't lose if he put his life on the line to do something. And I was already wanting to do something with a bunch of no-name people just to prove that we can do it.
And for me, from my point of view, the whole journey is worth it because it's not just about filmmaking, but I guess it's also my own personal journey and growth as a man, because it starts from a dream, and then when I thought I'm joining the military and all this stuff, I grew. But then doing the film again, I'm overcome my own, I overcome my own challenges and my own misperception and misconception about the world, and I think that lesson alone through the film, it's worth it.
I mean, one of the questions I have here, which I think you've already answered, is what was the most positive part about making this film? But I think you might have already covered that in the passion that you've projected. I mean, is there anything else you can add to the positivity you have about this project?
Yeah, I think mine is the fact that we don't help each other enough. We don't take chances with each other enough unless someone's getting a reward out of it. And my whole reward is helping someone's kid. If you can help somebody else's child get their dreams, because I have 2 children on the island. And then I meet him, he's 25 years old, and all I can see is someone's kid with this crazy dream that is not gonna work unless someone takes a chance on him.
And for me, it's the other way around, because I grew up very cynical and I'm very skeptical. So
of what, filmmaking in general, or life in general?
Oh, just life in general.
Right,
so
okay.
When I thought he's just gonna help me just like that, I'm the one that really, and I'm actually the one that kind of questioning everything. And we have a lot of nights when we are arguing about a film, because I genuinely do not trust anyone who just help for no particular reason, in a sense, because he doesn't have a reason to help me, and I believe that everybody is always motivated by a selfish reason, one way or the other. And then this was what I said, for me it's a personal growth, because me as a person being confronted how cynical I am and how I'm supposed to be more open-minded, in a sense that people do help each other, and you should. It's almost like a mirror for me, because that kind of also reflect that, maybe the reason why I'm behaving like that, because I am like that, because I am a person who is cynical and doesn't want to help and doesn't want to help other people too. and that's, for me, that is the biggest lesson of the whole journey.
It's interesting that my background before I got into what we all do now was in finance and transport and all sorts of things, but and that was cynical because it is cynical because it's corporate and all corporate I've found is all about making the money. So it's the bullshit which we get all the time. But actually, genuinely, every filmmaker I've met, all the festivals, hand on my heart, they're all really decent people. I mean, every interview is genuine, and every filmmaker, I'm talking about our festivals, I can't talk for others, but they're honest and real because they're passionate, and I suppose they're artists.
There you go.
And what they're trying to do, I understand that you've all got to make money and get your money back, I get that. But truly, I can't think of a time when we've talked about the money, making the money side of it. I know you want to talk to distributors, and I get that. But every interview that we do, it's always about, we've done it because of this. This is what happened. I came across this story came into my mind. How can we shoot it? Where's the best location? And the truth is that what they want to do is just bring a story to the screen. So they're real people. They're really nice people. And I think that's part of the reason I love doing this job. But actually, you don't get all that shit that you normally get in that world out there, which is 99.9%, because everyone's out to make a buck. So I can understand your cynicism, but from a personal point of view, I've never really come across that here. I have out there, but not here. It's and that's refreshing. So it is, and that's a nice thing. And I think also any filmmakers that we've spoken to, it doesn't matter how many films they've made, but the best thing is that they've only made one. The question I like to ask is, could you go back to that life before if they were accountants or siblings or whatever? And all of them said, no way. Once we've made one film, we can't step back to that world we had before. And we was talking to an accountant yesterday, a bean counter, and he said, I couldn't do it anymore. I was making a lot of money. It's, good last day, so I became disenfranchised, bored, the cynicism, it's all dog eat dog. And he said, I don't want that anymore. And he's made one film that's in the festival, and he said, I could never go back to that life. I love what I do now. He said, because it's all real. So that's a good thing. What I'm trying to say really badly is actually you're in an industry where I think, to a certain point, I guess the more money the film has riding it, then perhaps the cynicism will creep in. But I think to a certain point, you don't need to worry about that, because I think most people in the filmmaking that we met are really passionate about what they do, which is great. So anyway, there's me waffling on. So how long was the shoot? How long did it take from start to finish? Once you decided on the film, what were you going to actually make?
Well, it's 3 years after writing it.
Right.
2012.
And being on the island is very difficult because we're not from the island, and everyone would shut the doors because no one believed in, it's a little community on the island.
The cynicism, you say, creeping.
Oh, it's deep. And Popolo is the word that they use for black. This is what they call black people. It's a derogatory word.
Right, okay.
And so we took that word and we put it as the title because we found out that the true meaning of that word doesn't mean black. It's a plant. It's a medicine plant.
Right.
And it's like actually the base of all medicine on the island. And the island people didn't know that. And so they're calling black people Popolo. And it's derogatory. But now we're telling them, hey, this is a plant. And it's a medicine plant that, you guys use. And most people didn't even know that. So this story just constantly keeps turning into a beautiful flower.
And over those 3 years, I'm guessing, I don't want to say you're doing it piecemeal, but I that might be the right word. So you're not constantly working on this for 3 years. I guess you're doing, are you working?
No, we're
constantly working.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the military the first year when we were writing it, but after that, I'm finishing my contract, and then we're pretty much doing it full time. And like Quantae said in the beginning, there's a lot of cynicism and there's a lot of prejudice, and it's kind of fair because because
you've turned up.
Because we're strangers. Because we're not growing up from them, and then who we are seriously over there. But then I guess how the film is also affecting how to say this, how real life mirrors the artistic life of yours. How the film story about Popolo is healing the community. We end up, some good people trusting us and start opening up doors for us, and we able to complete the film because of some of the people that, opened their heart and let go that cynicism and believe in us. So that whole 3 years is pretty much, you know, gaining that trust in a sense.
Yeah.
Because like the shoot itself is really quick. It was
Yeah.
like 30 days.
It was 30 days and it was done shooting.
Yeah, so it's all post. 99% of it is the post now, I guess, or splicing all together and adding everything and bringing it all to.
Actually, the pre-production more.
Oh, was it?
Finding the locations and that's what we said. Like we have to break down
yeah.
this.
The culture. We have to break the whole culture because it's a black guy and an Asian guy. And when they saw us coming, everyone was like, "No, this isn't gonna work. No, we've never seen this before. No."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then very few people saw past, and they start helping out.
Yeah,
So
and there's a history too that not a lot of local filmmakers that been doing it for for most of their life, making it. So now suddenly two strangers coming in.
Yeah, turn up out of the blue.
Yeah.
So when you say you shot on which island were you actually on to shoot the film, or did you move around?
Oahu.
Oahu. It was all done right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the hell of a journey to get this Herculean effort to actually make this film. Now you've been through the mill, through the grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got to stay in this industry, haven't you? Obviously, because you love it. Yeah. So I don't know how difficult. I don't know what's more difficult, getting there. I think in your instance it must be, but also the actual ability to stay there must be daunting as well. Have you got anything you're looking at next after what's on the plate after this?
The sequel.
Oh, so it's that simple.
Oh yeah, it's that simple.
Oh right.
Because it's everything is based on the island and everything is based on the community. That island is just one big community, and since we starred, everybody on the island is a part of it. We cast from it, we crewed it, everything came from the island. So now when we bring the picture back to the island, everyone sees themselves. Everyone's excited. Now everyone's way excited. And they were, it's got to have a sequel. We thought of a sequel beforehand. We had to do two. To sustain, to make sure that he has an opportunity in Hollywood, we got to do a sequel. And so we shot it like a Hawaii Five-0 type of thing.
Right, and what's been the reaction? I'm really from the professionals in the industry. I mean, I guess I know you're doing the circuit and you're doing the festivals, but people that have seen the film from a professional point of view, because I'm guessing you've let investors or possibly distributors see the movie. I honestly don't know, but have you turned a corner? I mean, where are you in that process of funding the next film? Have you managed to get any kind of capital back from this project?
No, actually, we just started. This is the third film festival.
This is right. Okay.
We just started.
We just started on January 28th. You're like the third film festival we attended.
We went San Diego. We just left LA. Then we came here. Then we go back to Hawaii for the film festival in Hawaii, and
then gonna be North Carolina and then Las Vegas. And then at least that's it for now.
And the kind of, I mean, has it made you more positive, the kind of reaction you've had to it? Is it been what you wanted it to be?
Oh, way more than you can ever imagine, because it's his first film and it's an action film, and it's very difficult to do an action film. No one tackles an action film because there's so many components that you have to have to make an action film work.
And at that time, again, I was cynical. It was like, really, man, like I'm not experienced.
You're not cynical anymore.
And want to do. I want to do action film. Like I don't believe that it's happened, because like again, according to the history of like any directors, like they will not tackle action film as the first film just because
you have no experience.
You have no experience. It's just ridiculously difficult. Logistic itself is a nightmare.
What do you really want to make film wise? I know you're doing this action film, but is there something in the back of your head thinking I'd really like to make a film about?
Oh no, I like to make action film. I grew up liking the big films, like the big budget films, and the reason is because like as much as the Oscar winning films or whatever inspiring film is good, by the end of the day people get excited and people are more influenced by the big films, and they walk off the theaters, like the little kids remember more about the Yoda characters and the Luke Skywalkers and like all or the Indiana Jones, like it's their heroes, right? And I think like it's more influential as an artist, so that's why I want to do it. But at the same time, like I never done this, so when he approached it, I was literally against almost everything. Then he did it, so I guess in a sense that he's the one that restored my faith about humanity, I guess.
I wasn't gonna do it. I had a dream, and the dream said, you have to help this kid get his first film. I have 20 years of Hollywood, and then you want me to come and give it to this guy and trust this guy who has no experience, and this is my livelihood.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh man, okay, let's do it. Let's just have fun and see what happens.
And how does this compare? Because this is a brand new thing for both of you. And I suppose this question more to you because you've got experience in this. How does this compare with what you've done before in terms of a rookie? So I don't mean it like that.
No.
But you are
right.
He is a rookie.
Yeah, you're right.
So how does that compare to other projects you've been involved in? Is it radically different?
Completely different, because everything is on me. And me trying to teach them how to do films when everyone is cynical. The whole cast.
So you got to take ownership of this, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was rewarding in the fact that we could do it any kind of way we want. In Hollywood, there's a lot of stop it. You can't do it this way. You can't do this. But on the island, we can do whatever we want. All I had to do was deal with these guys and try and constantly getting them to believe that we can do it. And then you hear from their parents, and then their parents were doubting. All of our producers' parents were saying, this is not going to happen. You've never done a film before. Who is this guy? And so every day I had to hear, well, my parents said this. And it was just, don't worry, we can do it. Don't worry, it's going to work. Don't worry. That's every day. Keeping them hyped up about the whole project.
Then let's go to the very first day. The film's locked. You're about to show in front of the first audience. And what's going through your head and heart? What are you thinking? Right before the film was about to start, or the first frame runs. What do you think?
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work on the theater. We couldn't calibrate the film to the projector, and so nothing was working. For 3 days. It kept failing, and we have over 400 seats. That we have sold over 400 tickets to premiere in one of the big theaters in Hawaii. Yeah. And so it wasn't working. It failed. And then the last day, right before the film is gonna shoot, I'm pissed. He's pissed. We're trying to get the projector. And then we're like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. We let the people in, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And we hit play. And it was a hit. Yeah. 450 seats was sold. Over 450 seats.
That's brilliant.
For a film that no one expected, no one knew. They came to see the failure. The island came to see us fail. They came because they knew it was going to fail.
That's
the
same as Brits. We
you do that?
Yeah. We love to see a failure. It's true, isn't it? It's a great, you're not alone.
But it didn't fail.
But yeah,
that's great.
And people were shocked. And then when we started making film festival rounds, Hawaii's just lost its mind. Hawaii's like, they cannot believe that it's gotten this far. They do not believe it's gotten this far.
And are you able to put into words how you felt when you got to the end of that first one? Everyone's clapping, and it's obviously gone really well. Whatever they're doing, how can you explain that? After all the trials and tribulations, it's finally there, and you've had a great reaction.
I'm still having a hard time processing it, honestly, because like I don't know, it's just like during the private screening, I actually didn't enjoy it at all, because like I'm on the booth, and because it's
not the same
booth,
yeah it's
and
not the same.
it's a soundproof, so like I thought like everything's just quiet and people don't like it and all that kind of stuff, until I walk off the sound booth, having this like, oh man, I guess filmmaking's not for me, because it did, the audience didn't respond. Until I walk off from the sound booth and then start meeting people, and everybody says they were genuinely surprised on how far we took it, as far as like the quality and the quality of the film. And then in San Diego, by film festivals, when we actually shown it now to a complete stranger, because with Hawaii, at least they have a familiarity of what the film is or the location. And then in San Diego, like we have a very positive response, and we actually win our first award, the best drama. It's still magical in a sense.
Exactly.
I still, how does this? It's hard for me still to believe it. Like, wow, like we actually made this far.
So for me, the most impressive part is, the story. The film's great. Is actually how you got to make the film from where to crying out loud to join the army to make a film.
Yep.
To get shot at, really, frankly.
That's basically what happened.
Well, yeah.
So it's not even about the actual film itself. It's about the story of why we did it. Yeah. That's the main That's the main bulk of our whole process is believing in each other. That's it. Just believing in people all over again. Bringing forth that humanity to where we just start helping people. And not expecting anything but helping someone get their dream. That's it. And whatever comes after that, that's godly. And that's how we look at this film. That's how I look at it. Because if it wasn't for his story, I would have never, ever done it. And the only thing that made me do it is he told me he wanted to be an American filmmaker, and I said, that's going to be impossible. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
That's what basically I was like, nah, bro. How many Asians do you see in Hollywood? He says Ang Lee. I'm like, he doesn't count. He went to film school at NYU. So show me one more Asian. None. Zero. So our chances of getting this done is going to be like slim to none. And then you got a black guy. Nobody trusts black guys in America. So when they see me coming, they're like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. We're not giving him any money because no one does it. So when you see the both of us, it was like, you guys aren't going to make it. That's what everyone says. You're not going to make it.
And yet we did.
No, you don't. Yeah, it's amazing. So what's the timeline for the sequel? Have you started figuring out when you're going to start honing this down to start producing?
End of the year.
End of the year.
So promotion for this for the next 9-10 months. Get over with, get it out there, build it, and you've already penciled in a date to start shooting.
Start shooting toward the end of the year. Because in Hawaii, you can shoot year round. It's hot.
Yeah, the weather. Yeah.
The weather is amazing. So we're gonna give this a whole year of him just enjoying. It's not about anything but watching this guy enjoy his ride.
There must be a hell of a lot worse places to shoot a film than Hawaii.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be magical.
It is.
Listen, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
I could talk to you all day. Brilliant interview. I really enjoyed that.
All right, change of plan. SOCOM wants to rendition the target, so we're going in. And I want full noise discipline, no weapons fire.
Hope SOCOM know what they're doing.
Come on, let's go!
Teach me how to do that move.
What move?
You're gonna open up a fighting gym, right? What is it? Kung Fu? Taekwondo?
Would you like to come to our establishment? My treat, as long as you recommend it to your friends and clients.
Your sister, she's barely make it home. Something that we could have done.
No matter how fast or far you run, you'll only catch up to yourself.
Watch, Don.
Hey, Popolo, you're not thinking about...
We did things in combat that we gotta live with.
You can create your own destiny. We can do it together. We can make our own. I don't know how.
Can men like us ever just quit?
Take my chances.
It is time! You can't stop me!
Try.
Really?